Welcome back to Forza Horizon 6, which is still a crazy thing to be saying. In case you missed it last week, yes, Forza Horizon 6 was officially confirmed with this short teaser trailer that the developers showcased during the Tokyo Game Show. And last week, when that trailer was shown off, I made an entire video about it, broke down all of the little details from that trailer, what it might mean for Forza Horizon 6, and jumped into some of the details that the developers gave out on that first initial day. However, after that video was posted, the developers actually went and did a bunch of interviews with a whole bunch of journalists and gaming websites and everything in between, sharing more details about Forza Horizon 6. And over the past couple of days, I've been compiling all of that information because there's some new stuff that I thought was really, really interesting. Plus, I also spotted some stuff that I haven't actually seen people talking about. So we're going to talk about that as well. Buckle in, this is going to be a fun video. So first and foremost, if you'd like to check out any of the things I'm going to be talking about in more detail, the developers did about 4 or 5 different interviews. I'll link to all of them in the description down below. And last little bit of housekeeping, I just need to give a massive shout out to the developer. They actually invited me to be part of their teaser trailer reaction that they did, where myself and Geet actually got to be a part of it, and I yelled, "It's real!" It's real? Anyway, shout out to the developers for inviting me out to that. That was pretty cool to do. Without further ado, let's jump in to Forza Horizon 6 Japan. And I think that's a great place to start this video off. So right out of the gate, yes, it is officially confirmed that Forza Horizon 6 map is going to be the biggest map the developers have ever made. Unfortunately, the developers haven't given us an exact map size, but they did say it would be bigger than Forza Horizon 5's map. Just for frame of reference, Forza Horizon 5's map was around 110 square kilometers. Forza Horizon 4 was around 60 square kilometers. We don't know how big FH6 is going to be just yet, just that it's bigger than 110. The map size is actually not the big deal though, and the developers made that very, very clear. This time around, they're not just going for scale over everything, they're going for density. Specifically, they said, obviously, depending on what area of the map you're in, there is always something around the corner. When you're driving around the streets of Tokyo, there's always something to be discovered. And on the topic of Tokyo City, the developers also confirmed that Tokyo City is going to be the biggest city they have ever made for a Forza Horizon game. Again, they didn't give actual numbers as to how big the city actually is, but if you go drive around in Forza Horizon 3, Surfer's Paradise, Tokyo City is going to be bigger than that. It's also going to be bigger than Edinburgh from Forza Horizon 4 as well. But again, the sheer size of the city isn't what the developers' key focus is. It's all about the density of the city, and specifically, they called out layer roads. They actually used some of the technology from Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels expansion to build layered roads on top of each other. If you drive around in the FH5 Hot Wheels expansion, you'll notice how much insane verticality there is. That is all going to be present in Tokyo City in FH6, which is really, really cool. And again, it's not just about the city itself. The developers called out some of the other areas you're going to be able to drive around. For example, obviously Mount Fuji is in Forza Horizon 6, but they've also got coastal highways, plains, rice paddies, rural mountain toge roads, and they've kind of dubbed this the triangle between toge, coast, and city, and that's kind of how you drive around, in a sense. What's actually pretty cool, though, is the developers finally gave us kind of a sneak peek behind the curtains of how they choose some of the locations. And they straight up said that Japan has always been on the shortlist for Forza Horizon locations dating back to Forza Horizon 2. They said as soon as FH1 came out, they've basically been inundated with Japanese requests for the location, and they finally felt Forza Horizon 6 was the game where they could do it justice with the technology that Xbox has and how the engine has evolved to this point, so they could finally make a game that they feel proud of, and that's what they're doing with this. They actually straight up said, we can only do Japan once, so we have to do it right. The other really cool thing about Forza Horizon 6 is the developers almost 2 years ago hired a cultural consultant to work alongside them and advise them on everything Japan basic. It's this lady named, I'm gonna mispronounce this, Kyoko Yamashita. Her job is to help the developers and guide them and put them on the right path so things sound accurate and real to Japan. For example, She's helping the developers on scripts for Forza Horizon 6 when characters are going to be speaking to each other. She's helping out there. She's also helping out with the signage, the colors of Japan, the etiquette of Japan, ambient sound choices, and all of that sort of stuff. If you'd actually like to learn more about her, she's got an incredible history with cars and working with some incredible car companies. She actually worked on a cool thing with Porsche recently, talking all about the Hakone Turnpike and what an incredible driving road it is. Anyways, long story short, her goal is to make Japan feel as real and authentic as it possibly can be, and less like a postcard or a movie that you might see that kind of fakes things. The developers actually came out and said they want Japan to feel grounded, a lived-in Japan with both the chaos of places like Tokyo City, but also the calm of the countryside and places like that, as well throwing in all of the freedom that comes with the Horizon Festival, driving your favorite cars and supercars and drift cars and all of that sort of stuff on the open road. That's kind of the goal for Forza Horizon 6. I'm not sure if it's just me, but it definitely sounds like, reading between the lines here, that the developers kind of acknowledge some of the mistakes that they made with Forza Horizon 5, how it was almost a little bit cliche when characters were speaking, for example, in English and then would throw in a Spanish word every other sentence, and it would just kind of take you out of the moment, and it sounds like they're trying to not make that mistake for Forza Horizon 6. I guess we should also talk about some of the cars we will see come to Forza Horizon 6, and the developers kind of gave us some hints as to what to expect for the cars and the customization. So straight up, the developers confirmed, yes, we'll be seeing K cars as well as K vans scattered all throughout Japan, both as a viable version that you can actually go into the garage and purchase yourself to drive around Japan, as well as scattered amongst traffic cars that you'll be seeing the AI driving around in. You'll also be able to head to the auto show and purchase vehicles like precision motorsport vehicles, like dedicated motorsports cars, which is pretty cool to see, as well as drift cars they called out specifically as well. They also called out passion for customization that really stands out, which was very interesting. Obviously, Forza Horizon has never really been known for tons of customization, but with a game taking place in Japan and a location that kind of prides itself on customization of their cars, I think we might see something a little different for Forza Horizon 6. Obviously, nothing's confirmed just yet until we actually see it themselves, but I'm trying to read between the lines here, if you can see what I mean. The developers also specifically called out, yes, Forza Edition cars will also be making their return for Forza Horizon 6, which is pretty cool to see. We don't know which cars are going to get Forza Edition variants, but it's nice to hear they're coming back. Side note, all of this news about the cars specifically kind of goes hand in hand with the news that the developers shared a year and a half ago or so, when they specifically called out some JDM Legend cars that were being rebuilt and remodeled for a future Forza game. And now we know those cars are Mazda RX-7 from 1997, Mitsubishi Evo 6, Nissan Silvia S15, Nissan GTR R32, as well as the Toyota A86. Now we know those cars are getting remade for Forza Horizon 6, so they're going to have brand new models, and they're actually basically our first confirmed cars for Forza Horizon 6, which is pretty cool. One of the other areas we can kind of read between the lines for Forza Horizon 6 is in regards to the season. The developers spent a lot of times throughout a lot of their interviews calling out seasons specifically, and the differences seasons make in your actual gameplay experience. Obviously, for Forza Horizon 5, seasons were quite muted, you could say, especially in comparison to Forza Horizon 4, where you'd see all the leaves changing color, and in the winter you'd have snow all over the roads. There were drastic changes for the map in FH4, and by the way the developers have been describing it, it sounds like we're going to be getting more of that in Forza Horizon 6. They say seasonal changes truly inform the world, how spring, summer, autumn, and winter subtly shift the tone, activity, and the sound of the world around you. They called out some small little details like wind chimes chiming in the distance, or the sound the train station makes when the train is approaching, and things like that. And they also had a wild quote, which might validate one of the things I was talking about in my previous video. I'm going to read this quote off exactly. We've created a sound design environment to express the four seasons. The sounds of lush trees swaying or the sounds of stepping on dead leaves. Hey, yo, stepping? I've been calling it out for over a year now that I think one of the big features for Forza Horizon 6 is the ability to get out of your car, walk around houses, walk around garages, and it sounds like, based off this quote, you might hear footsteps stepping on dead leaves and crunching beneath someone's feet. Interesting choice of words there, developers. I know there's also been a lot of discussion about the Forza Horizon 6 release date, so let me make this as clear as possible. Forza Horizon 6 will release on Xbox and the PC in 2026. They did mention Forza Horizon 6 will be coming to the PlayStation 5, but didn't give an exact release date for that. They just said it will be coming at some point further down the line than the Xbox and the PC version. Now again, I'm trying to read between the lines here, and I've got a bit of a theory that I think makes a little bit of sense. I've had this theory for the past little while that Forza Horizon is playing a very expensive game of chicken with GTA 6. Although the games aren't directly competing head-to-head, Forza doesn't want to be in the same release window as GTA 6. It will impact sales and impact player numbers, and if at all possible, Forza would like to avoid GTA 6's release window. And as it stands right now, GTA 6 is set to come out in the spring of 2026. However, as has happened before with GTA games and Red Dead Redemption games, the games oftentimes get delayed one more time to the fall of the same year, which would be the fall of 2026. That's usually where a Forza Horizon game would like to release. However, if GTA 6 is going to be taking that window, Forza won't want to. And this actually goes hand in hand with the other news the developers gave us, that they said we'll be hearing more about Forza Horizon 6 in early 2026, which leads people to believe that's Developer Direct, which takes place in January every single year. It's another one of these like Xbox shows where they showcase some of their new games. That's probably where we'll hear more about Forza Horizon 6. And by that point, I think the developers are hoping that GTA has a firm release date of the spring of 2026 or has been delayed until the fall of 2026. And Forza can take whichever one GTA doesn't. Like I said, they're playing a really, really expensive game of chicken right now, or at least that's what I think they're doing. Obviously, it's not confirmed just yet, so we will need to wait at least until early 2026 for some more Forza Horizon 6 news. But there was one more thing I wanted to talk about, and I think arguably it might be the most interesting one of them all, and it's in regards to the progression. Forza Horizon 6 has subtly been using this tagline of become a legend across some of their store pages. Right now, if you go over to Steam, it says this: discover the breathtaking landscapes of Japan and become a racing legend at the Horizon Festival. Add Forza Horizon 6 to your wish list today. There's been a lot of discussion online over the past probably 10 years or so about Forza Horizon games not having great progression. You seem to get handed supercars way too early on into the game, and all things considered, the progression system is kind of lacking. And based off this tagline, there's been a ton of discussion that we might see Forza Horizon finally go back to the progression that we saw in Forza Horizon 1, where you truly do start off with a slow car and need to earn your way up, and faster cars only unlock for you when you get enough money for them, or you reach a certain part of the game and those cars unlock for you. And this whole tagline of become a legend seems to imply that you're starting from the beginning and you're not coming into the Horizon Festival as the boss, as the main guy, and you need to earn your way up. Side note, there's also been a lot of discussion around a main villain returning for Forza Horizon. The same ways we had Darius Flint for Forza Horizon 1, we may see something similar for Forza Horizon 6. They made reference to Darius Flint twice in that teaser trailer. So maybe that's a sign that we might see some more. Again, though, like I've been saying, that isn't confirmed just yet. Right now, we've got the tagline, and It's kind of up to us for interpretation. Until early 2026, that's kind of all the news we have about Forza Horizon 6. I'll keep you guys posted if there is any more news about Forza Horizon 6 between now and then. Subscribe for that. I hope to interview the developers in January, possibly, we'll have to see, and ask them some of your most pressing questions. So if you got any, let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day now. Goodbye!